Yeah, hello. Um, I just want to talk about um, Jesus and why do people hate him so much. People have vehement hatred against Jesus, and I am trying to figure out what could be so bad about him that caused people to hate him so much. I just cannot see the logic on why do people hate him so much. First of all, I love everyone. Black, I mean, I'm black. White, Chinese, Jews, Arabs, Eskimos, Spanish. I love everyone because we were created to love each other. We were created to help each other. But unfortunately, it is not so in the world. As I was saying previously, why do people hate Jesus so much? First of all, there are so many wicked stories in the world, yet they are accepted by many people. They are loved by many people. They are respected by many people. Stories like Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel is a story that involved cannibalism. The witch wanted to eat Hansel and Gretel. And what happened is Hansel and Gretel's stepmother didn't like them, so she influenced their father to get rid of them. And to make a long story short, the witch wanted to eat Hansel and Gretel. Cannibalism. And the stepmother didn't like them. Parental rejection. Not a good story. A story of wickedness. It's a story that actually could inspire a person who already has the desire to abandon their kids to do so. So it's not a good influence for people who have these type of intentions. Yet, as wicked and as evil as this story is, it is still respected and loved by many. It even was placed in the school curriculum for children to learn. I have learned about it. Then you have Romeo and Juliet, a one that is well loved by millions, by many. It is actually the story of the pinnacle of love. But to me, it is a story that involves suicide. Romeo and Juliet both commit suicide, and it's not it's not a story that a person who has such intention to look at. There are people who are suicidal because of situations, and it's not a good story for people who are in these type of situation to read. Romeo killed himself because he thought that Juliet had died. And Juliet killed herself as she saw Romeo lying dead. So the story involved suicide, yet it is loved by many. It is respected by many. It has placed on the highest peak of romantic story. People love the story. Movies and cartoons were inspired by this story. And as suicidal as this story may be, people still love it. I was told about this story. I saw this story on movies and cartoons. And people love the story. But for me, it is a wicked story. For me, it is a story that inspires people to kill themselves, because there are many people who are romantically broken. Yeah, there are people whose heart is broken and they have intentions to do bad things. And oftentimes, many people commit suicide. There's a little girl, a young girl who had killed herself as her boyfriend told her that he no longer loves her, and she hang herself, kill herself. These are not good things, because if a person killed himself, they cannot enter heaven. So Romeo and Juliet is a story that is evil. Then you have the Little Red Riding Hood, a young girl who was on her way to bring some goodies for Granny, and she had her goodies in a basket. And in the process, the wolf saw her and wanted to eat her. And the wolf went and ate Granny. For me, if he had eaten Granny, his stomach should have already been full. Yet, he still had an eager desire to eat Red Riding Hood. I don't know why. Maybe she was red and juicy. I don't know. But he wanted to eat her. This story involved kidnap and murder. And for me, the wolf is a representation of Satan. Then you have the story Christopher Columbus. This is another story that has been placed in our school curriculum. I have learned of Christopher Columbus in school as a child. And they only have told me the good side of this history. But there is another side that has not been told, where Christopher had murdered the people in these parts of the world whom he claimed to have discovered, murdered these people for their gold and whatever they had as precious. This story involved murder and lies. He lied about he being the person to discover these places when there were people who were previously there. So Christopher is a liar and he's a murderer. Yet it is a story that has been so reverent that they put his story in my school. This is not my history, yet it was given to me. And as wicked and evil as this story may be, people still love it. People adore it. People reverence it. They place it at the pinnacle of the school curriculum in the Caribbean. I do not know of the other schools in the other parts of the world, but in the Caribbean, the children were told about Christopher Columbus. Then you had another story, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And there was a witch again, and she wanted to poison Snow White. She put poison in an apple for Snow White to eat. Wicked story. Yet it is accepted and admired by many people. Now when you talk about the story of Jesus, people has a lot of resentment. Why? I do not know. Because Jesus' story has nothing but good. He healed people, he fed people, he clothed people, he was loving, he rose the dead. Yet, as good as this story is, people still hate Jesus. I don't know why. I tried to figure out what could have caused a person to hate Jesus as I read his story, and I could not have found anything wicked as to why a person should hate him. And people don't love this story. Many people hate this story. Yet they chose many of the other wicked stories and love the other wicked stories over the story of Jesus. Even if a person does not know about Jesus and they're under the influence of someone else on why they hate Jesus, if they only give themselves a chance to read about Jesus, they would learn that Jesus was a good man. Yet as good as he was, people hate him a lot. Up on the cross, he asked for water as he was thirsty, and they gave him vinegar. How could a person conceive in their mind to give a person who is thirsty vinegar to drink, knowing that vinegar is acidic and harsh to drink? This is how wicked mankind is. People hate Jesus. For what reason? I do not know. I do not know. But I hope that you have learned something by listening to this video, and I appreciate that you have given me the chance to listen to what I had to say. I have other videos in which I will talk about many other subjects and things, and I hope you are blessed in the name of Jesus Christ. And whatever you have seen my video title as, you can continue to follow that title and find other videos of mine. Peace.